No penalty, no statement, no press release, just a door closing behind him and silence after. That's it. That's the whole story NASCAR wants you to believe. Nothing happened. But mate, when's the last time nothing happened needed a closed door and a hauler? Think about that for a second, because it doesn't add up. Not for a driver like this. Not this deep into a playoff run, with this much on the line and this much attention on every move he makes. Let's set the scene. Right. Shane van Gisbergen, the Kiwi who wasn't supposed to be a playoff threat. The road course specialist everyone figured would peak, plateau, and fade into great character, shame about the ceiling. Except he didn't fade. He kept winning. He kept showing up on ovals people said he had no business competing on, let alone winning at, and he kept proving the doubters wrong week after week. And now, after Atlanta, it feels like every time he wins, the sport finds a new reason to slow him down. That's not a conspiracy theory, mate. That's a pattern. And patterns don't lie. Coincidences happen once, maybe twice. This is starting to look like something else entirely. And if you've been watching this season closely, you've probably already felt it too, even before Atlanta gave it a name. Now here's where it gets interesting. And hey, quick pause before we go further. If you're new here, this is NASCAR Trackline TV, and we're closing in on 500 subscribers. That milestone matters more than you'd think. It's the difference between us being a channel that just covers NASCAR and a channel NASCAR actually has to reckon with. So if you're enjoying the breakdown so far, hit that subscribe button now. It genuinely helps more than you'd guess, and it costs you absolutely nothing. Right, back to the story. So what actually is a hauler summons? Let's get under the bonnet for a second, because this is the part most channels skip right past, either because they don't know or because they don't want to poke at it. It's a private meeting, held inside the team hauler, away from cameras, away from media, away from any official NASCAR paper trail. No press conference, no statement afterward, no line item in the penalty report. Historically, it's the tool NASCAR reaches for when they want control without consequence. No fine on the books, no suspension announced, nothing you can point to and say, there, that's proof, that's official. It's been used before, and not quietly either, if you know where to look. Brad Keselowski and Denny Hamlin know that room. So do Tony Stewart and Brian Scott. Translation, mate, this isn't punishment on paper. It's a warning nobody can prove happened. And that's exactly why it's effective, because you can't fight something that officially doesn't exist, and you can't appeal a penalty that was never actually handed down on paper in the first place. And here's the kicker. Someone official already said the quiet part out loud, whether they meant to or not. Elton Sawyer, NASCAR's senior vice president, went on record saying he understood Austin Hill's reaction. Not condemned it. Understood it. That's not nothing. Right. That's NASCAR's own leadership signaling which side of this they're quietly standing on. Even while SVG sits in that hauler, getting whatever message they decided to give him behind closed doors. Meanwhile, you've got veteran voices in the garage suggesting this kind of thing happens more than fans ever realize. Fans and analysts online asking why none of it went public in the first place, and a few voices pushing back, insisting NASCAR actually handled it the right way, by keeping it behind closed doors, instead of turning it into a media circus. 4 very different reactions, one single incident. Fair dinkum, that alone tells you how split this paddock really is right now, and how little anyone actually agrees on what happened. You've got old school voices saying this is exactly how the sport's always policed itself. Quietly, behind closed doors, almost driver to driver. And you've got a newer wave of fans saying that era's over, that if it's serious enough for a hauler meeting, it's serious enough for a public statement. Both sides think they're right. Neither side's actually seen the transcript. But here's the thing. What NASCAR told him in that room might not have stayed in that room. Hold that thought. Because it connects to something a lot bigger. And we're getting there. Because this isn't just about one spin at Atlanta anymore. This is about SVG's playoff points, his elimination math, and how much room for error he's actually got left heading into the next round of this postseason, when a single bad weekend could end the run altogether. Remember what I said earlier about the message not staying in the room? Here's why that matters now. Word is that quiet meeting came with a warning about retaliation risk, meaning every incident from here forward, he's not just racing the field. He's racing under a cloud, whether he likes it or not, whether it's fair or not. One more incident, and this won't be a quiet meeting next time. This becomes something public, something official, something with real consequences. That's the shift. That's what actually changed in Atlanta, even if the official record insists nothing did. So where does this actually go from here? Let's talk theory, because this is where it gets ripper. Theory 1. NASCAR quietly protects SVG, because like it or not, he's one of the best storylines the sport's had in years, and burying a breakout star doesn't help ratings or ticket sales heading into the playoffs. Theory 2. NASCAR uses this exact meeting as precedent, so if incidents keep happening, they've already got the paper trail sitting there ready to justify something heavier down the line, something they can point back to. Theory 3. Trackhouse doesn't sit quiet if they feel their drivers being unfairly targeted, and this whole thing turns into a public back and forth nobody saw coming this early in the playoffs. And honestly, there's a theory 4 worth mentioning too, that this was never really about SVG specifically, and more about NASCAR sending a message to every playoff contender that the haulers still open for business, that the old tools haven't gone anywhere just because the sport's gotten more corporate. Now, has NASCAR officially confirmed any of this? No. Not a single word, not a statement, nothing on the record. But based on how this exact playbook has run before, with these exact names involved, that's genuinely where the smart money sits right now. So here's what I want to know from you, and I mean this. Type shield if you reckon NASCAR's quietly protecting SVG's storyline heading into the next round. Type setup if you think they're building a case against him for later. Brick by brick, meeting by meeting, until they've got enough to act. And if you've got a theory of your own, a theory 5, whatever it is, drop it in the comments below. Because honestly, some of the best takes on this channel come from you lot, not me. And half the time you spot angles I completely miss. And what Austin Hill actually said after that meeting. Mate, that's a video on its own. That's coming next, so don't go anywhere. And don't miss it, because it changes how you'll see all of this. Before you go, if this breakdown actually gave you something the other channels didn't, do me a favor, hit like, drop a comment telling me shield or setup, and share this with someone in your group chat who's still out there calling this just a spin. That's genuinely how we climb toward 500 and beyond. One comment, one share, one subscriber at a time. Every single one counts more than you'd think, and every subscriber gets us one step closer to covering this stuff the way it actually deserves to be covered. If you enjoy real NASCAR breakdowns like this, you'll like what's coming next.